Welcome into our Saints post-game show alongside former Saints linebacker Super Bowl champ Scott Shanle. I'm Erin Summers. The Saints got a huge win today, 48-17 over the Atlanta Falcons. After the Saints went down 14-7 early in this game, they went on a 41-3 run. It was incredible. Offense and defense played very well together today. What stood out to you the most?
I just think there's been a lot of success the past couple of weeks in a lot of different areas of the game that this team has just played ascendant and played their best football. And, you know, you start looking at the playoff picture and you get frustrated by other people not taking care of business to help you. But I think you can take care of what you have to take care of. And there is no doubt about it, the last 2 weeks, the Saints have looked like the team that we all thought they would play like all season. And for me, besides beating down the Atlanta Falcons, which is always good, the most encouraging thing to me the last 2 weeks is the young guns, the future superstars of this team have played like it. And I think that is going to, no matter what happens, playoffs or not, they're going to, that performance catapults you into the offseason with a lot of hope.
Definitely. It was really good to see running back Kendre Miller have a great game in this one. Wide receiver A.T. Perry got into the end zone twice as well. So as you mentioned, some of the young guns really stepping up today. DeShazier is on hand just outside of the locker room. John, it was a tight game to start. Saints didn't come out great on their opening drive, but things changed pretty quickly. What was the difference as this game went on?
Well, the offense started pretty well, so you just needed to get the defense going. They gave up a couple of chunk plays, a 71-yarder and a 56-yarder, and after that, they really figured out what they were doing on defense. But the offense really had it together from the beginning. This is a totally different team, it seemed, from the team that couldn't score in the red zone in Atlanta. They scored every which way in this game, and that's what you wanted to see. Unfortunately, it's late in the season. They have put it together. Can't win the NFC South Division Championship, but we wait now and see exactly what happens in the late games. But, man, really a great way to finish out the home regular season schedule, to get the Falcons in here, to score 48 on them, to be able to pretty much shut them out in the second half and shut them out basically for the last three quarters, only give up a field goal and have your way with them offensively. I think the Saints finally figured some things out, and they really got the chemistry together. Everything fell into place today. Perfect time for it to fall into place. Hopefully, they'll get a chance for it to fall into place a little bit more in the future, but we'll have to wait and see on that. They need a lot of help to be able to vault into the playoffs. But, man, really a great way to finish out the home schedule for the Saints, who hadn't played very well at home for a lot of several games this season, but they really put it together in this one, Erin and Scott.
Yeah, it definitely was a complete game in this one. The Saints coming out 400 total yards of offense, and then 154 of those coming on the ground. So being able to establish their run game without running back Alvin Kamara was huge.
Yeah.
How did you see Kendre Miller, Jamal Williams getting into the end zone there for the first time this season, find some rhythm and success?
It was phenomenal, because I think the part of the offense and the team that usually people don't watch a lot is in the trenches. The offensive line has definitely played their best football the last 2 weeks, and that's led to being able to run the ball better. But anytime you go into a game without 41 back there, there's a little bit of nerves. Like, how is his lost yardage going to be made up for? First of all, Derek Carr, you look at his numbers, he's been playing as good as any quarterback in the league over the past month of the season. And that's a testament to him coming back from the injuries. But I think Kendre Miller, when he came out today, this was phenomenal. There were tons of people. If you just sat around people and they watched him run, and they're like, I didn't think a big back like that should have those type of moves.
He's real shifty.
Yeah, he is very shifty. He stuck his foot in the ground. It was making people miss. I think whenever you have guys like that, young guys who can make people miss and just kind of flash on tape, he's definitely one of those guys. It was a great game by him.
Yeah, Miller ends up with 73 total yards, had one touchdown. Williams ends up with 26 in his touchdown. So it was just good to see the run game get going with both of them. You mentioned Derek Carr, 22 of 28, 264 yards, 4 touchdowns, and that long 39-yard touchdown to Rashid Shaheed. While Derek Carr was great, his receivers today, man, they were making some unbelievable catches. Chris Olave's catch where he caught that over the defender, I think it bounced off of the defender into Olave's hands and back. He was bobbling a bit, but he held on.
Yeah, it was an incredible play, and that's what number one receivers do.
Yeah.
You look around the league, whenever people talk about the number one receivers for teams or the top receivers in the league, those are the type of plays they make. And Chris is that type of guy. And he really ended the season strong, and hopefully there's another playoff game. We're all Bears and Cardinals fans right now, hoping that there's another playoff game. But whatever happens, like I said, the young guys were playing their best football the last couple games of the season, and today was the epitome of that. I mean, the timing of the offense it showed up a little too late, I think, for a lot of people. But for the past month of the season, especially the last 2 games, the timing, the rhythm between the quarterback and the receiver, which is tremendously important, that timing and rhythm was as good as it's been all year.
Oh, and this is definitely what everybody was waiting for with the signing of quarterback Derek Carr. And they did talk a lot about the chemistry. It just takes time to develop. This past month, it's felt good. It's looked good. Head coach Dennis Allen is approaching the podium now, so we're going to send it in there and get his thoughts on this big win.
To finish out that game, that's not who we are. That's not how we operate. We should have taken a knee. So I want to apologize to them because look, we're all like we got a good rivalry, and it's a heated rivalry. But there's a way we go about doing our business, and I wasn't happy about that. So other than that, okay, I was happy about a lot of things that happened in the game. I didn't like the way the game started. We busted a couple coverages, gave up a couple of explosive plays, which can't happen. And we made some adjustments, and then we played better from there on out. I thought our offense was awesome. I think they did a great job moving the ball down the field. We were able to capitalize a lot in the red zone. We were able to create some explosive plays. I thought Kendre Miller played well. I thought the receivers played well. A.T. Perry, I thought, did some good things in the game. I thought Derek played well. So there's a lot of good things that happened in the game. And I was proud of the way that our guys came out and responded, really in a must-win situation.
Yeah, could you clarify, what happened?
We should have taken a knee right there. They asked me about getting Jamal a touchdown at the end. I said I wanted to take a knee. We put Victory out there, and the guys kind of wanted to get him a touchdown, and they did that on their own. That's unacceptable.
So Arthur seemed pretty upset after.
He should be.
Is that what he was?
He should be.
referencing?
He should be.
And that's what the on-field issue.
That's what it was.
Is that the quarterback's responsibility there, Coach?
Look, I think there was a lot of guys that wanted to get Jamal his touchdown. And honestly, I'm not sure exactly what was going on behind that, but other than they wanted him to score a touchdown. So let's move on. Let's go to something else.
How do you handle the next few hours now watching the rest of the games?
So Chicago, Green Bay, and Seattle, Arizona, those are going on. So we'll take a look at them, see how it goes. We'll be rooting for Chicago and Arizona.
Do you think your team has earned the right to get in the playoffs the way you're playing?
Look, our team, our record is what our record is, and we've earned whatever comes our way. So if the breaks go our way and we make it in, we've earned it. If they don't, we earn that too. So we'll watch these games and see what happens.
Yeah, I know it's early, but how do you sort of just assess this season in its totality?
Yeah, you're right. It's too early to assess the season in its totality. I think we'll soak this one in a little bit, and then we'll have time to kind of reflect and see, what we thought.
Could you talk about the things that Derek did well today?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of them. I mean, I think he operated the offense. I think we had good tempo in and out. I think he got us into the right checks. I think he threw the ball accurately, particularly some of these deep throws. Yeah, I mean, I think he operated the Saints' offense like, we expect him to operate.
We got a few yards on the QB draw too. Was that where did that sort of fit into the game plan? Is this what y'all been saving throughout the year? Was it?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, it's something that you have in there. I mean, obviously, nobody's expecting to see that with him, and based on some of the looks that we had seen, we thought, we could make a play on it, and they actually made a play on us in practice the other day with the same play, and we weren't expecting that either. So, yeah, I mean, it's just part of the game plan. And look, I think Pete and those guys did a really good job today putting together a game plan, and I thought our guys went out and executed it.
Dennis, I know you have a lot of decisions to make about the future of this offense and the direction it's going. It won't be made right now, but how much can this week, last week, influence seeing how the offense played their best football in the last couple weeks?
Yeah, look, I think the offense, really started to come around towards the latter part of the season. I think our quarterback being healthy was a big part of that. I think he played much better in the latter part of the season. Yeah, look, as we do with everything, we're not gonna make any snap judgments to anything. We're gonna take a minute to reflect on everything from the season, and then we'll make whatever decisions we feel like, and I feel like are best for our team and our organization.
Dennis, the Tampa game wasn't shown at all. The score, did you have anything to do with that, or did you ask the score not to be shown?
I didn't really pay much attention to it.
And then, did you find out during the game at all that Tampa won?
No.
Did you just find out just now? Or?
I just found out, in the locker room. I didn't care. I didn't have any control over it.
And so you were talking about the scoop bust early, but after that, the defense got a few 3-and-outs, held the Falcons to 78 yards rushing. What did this defense do right this time around?
Well, look, with the exception of the, first couple of drives with a couple of mistakes, I thought we did a pretty good job, up front, controlling the line of scrimmage, and I thought, we made it difficult for them to throw the football, and so, I just think our guys kind of settled in after those first couple explosive plays and played much better.
How did the conversations go with Alante, and how do you feel he responded?
Look, I think he responded well. It's never easy. That's hard to deal with. But it was a decision that I felt like was best for our football team to give ourselves the best chance to win in this game. And so we made the move, and then, look, he came back in and responded, made a big play in the game, And so I think in the heat of the moment, he wasn't happy about it. And then after, having a little bit of time to let the game play out, he understood where we were coming from.
Dennis, how important or gratifying was it for you, this last 5-game stretch? I know other people assess your performance, but 4-1 over the last 5, your first winning record, to kind of get the results that hadn't been coming in the first.
Yeah, look, I'm pleased with the way that we finished the season. I'm not pleased with, the way the record played out overall, over a 17-game season. That's not what we aspire to be. But I was proud of the way that, our guys, continued to respond and continue to fight back. And I'm proud of the way they finished the season.
What did you make of A.T. Perry? Just, those 2 touchdowns?
Yeah, look, it was good to see. He's a good young player. He's made some plays. I thought our receivers made some contested catches today, which, that's a big part of this league and playing in this league. You're not always going to be wide open, and so being able to make some plays in a contested environment, I thought was big. I think it was A.T. that got the pass interference call in the end zone too. So there's a lot of big plays that he made.
Now, I imagine it's important for a young player to show something like that too. How does that kind of factor in?
Yeah, look, look, part of the process is, getting young players, drafting young players, developing young players, and it is a process. It's not an overnight occurrence. So, I was pleased with some of the things I saw him do.
Dennis, how would you describe, where you are emotionally right now? Like, are you anxious for those afternoon games? Obviously you got to feel good about it.
Yeah, look, I try not to get too anxious about them because I have zero control over anything that happens in that. I get more anxious about, the games that we're playing and trying to make sure that my guys are out there playing to the best of their ability. And that's where the anxiousness comes in. Look, we'll watch these games. I'll probably have a beverage or two to enjoy with the game, and then see what happens.
Do you feel like you kind of found something in the last 4 or 5 weeks with the team? We talked the other day about commitment and things like that. Do you feel like the locker room kind of gelled?
Yeah, well, look, it's hard to say what the reasons why would be. I do feel like that we've played better, in this last little stretch of the season, and I'm sure there's a lot of contributing factors to that. But yeah, I felt like our guys had confidence, in these last few weeks that they were going to go out there and play well, and they did.
What were some of the biggest keys on offense in particular finding what worked? Was it more consistent execution?
Yeah, look,
Same things?
well, I think you're talking about in general overall, right? Not this game. Yeah.
5 weeks.
Yeah, well, again, I think a lot of it goes back to the health of the quarterback. I think the quarterback's been as healthy as he's been all season. And I think we've seen what he can do when everything's operating the way that it needs to operate. When he's healthy, when he's protected, when guys are making plays around him, he can play at a really, really good level. And I think we saw that over the last part of the season. And when your quarterback is playing good, your team's playing good. And I think that was a big factor.
How does it feel to have this kind of an offensive explosion in the regular season?
Yeah, about probably the same way it would feel if we had this type of explosion to start the season. You know, I mean, yeah, it feels good. You know, you like to see that. But it's it's one game, but we'll feel good about that one, and then see if we get another opportunity.
Obviously, Ken Ray's been dealing with the ankle injury for a while now. Having come out and played the way he did today, whether you make postseason or not, just a young player going into the offseason, how much confidence is that?
Yeah, hopefully that gives him some confidence. I know it gives me some confidence. He made a couple guys miss today that was really good to see. You know, I thought he ran hard. He protected the football. So yeah, I thought that was good. Look, anytime you have young guys, particularly late in the season, and you have young guys that can step up and make plays, regardless of whether we get in or not, I think that gives us confidence as we move forward.
Dennis, what did you think of the crowd? They were really into it.
Yeah, look, I thought the crowd was great, and I think that's, when we play well, I think we got a great crowd. And when we don't play well, it's really what our job is, to give them something to cheer about. And when you do that, they usually respond. So that was good.
Was Kamara close to going at all, or how did this pregame go?
Yeah, look, I think he was. I think he could have gone. I feel like if we're playing next week, I think there's a good chance that he'll be available. All right, guys, thanks.
What's going on, guys? Good.
How do you think of just the way the offense was able to play today, and what attributed to it?
Man, I haven't seen like all the stats, but I can think of just a couple penalties. As I look back at kind of this year as a whole, I felt like we've always moved the ball well. We just had silly mistakes, and it was a clean football game all around. So just without watching the tape, that's really what sticks out.
What do you do the next couple hours since watching?
Yeah, I got family in town. Go hang out, enjoy this evening with them, and we'll be watching a couple games closely.
The way this season has ended for you guys, you feel like this is a playoff team?
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, it's you kind of. It's hard not to go back and think about some of the games that we lost, and and be in a situation where you don't control your own destiny, and then you start thinking about games like, man, we needed one more to clinch the division, and but again, we can't dwell on that stuff, and DA and others, we've talked all week that you control what you can control, and that's a tough thing to do, and I was really pleased and happy with everybody, coaches, top down, players, like everybody, the way that we handled this week and handled this game was really positive.
Pace, you feel like the team played football down the stretch?
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's hard to think of a game that, you know, was better than this one, you know, as a whole from all three phases. So, yeah, which is, you know, it's a really nice thing to feel as a team, but, you know, it's a little tough knowing that, you know, we need some help to get into the postseason. But it is nice to feel like we're playing our best football at the end of the season.
How gratifying is it that the offense has had its best game?
Yeah. Look, I think, you know, we had a few games that we came up short on, and you know, that's a tough thing to swallow. But to be able to finish a season like this on a high note is really positive.
You also talk about Derek's the groove maybe that he's been in and the comfort that he's shown kind of over these last few weeks.
Yeah, you know, I've been, you know, really impressed with the way Derek has handled himself all year, the way he's played all year. But, you know, these last couple of games, man, I feel like everything's kind of clicked for him, you know. And I can think of a few plays tonight where, not tonight, but today where, you know, I'm running a route and the ball was on me, before my head turned, and, you know, he saw everything so clean today and was getting the ball out, and, you know, that was really impressive.
If you tell Derek go ahead and run that QB draw?
You know, it's funny, we had that plan for me and for him, and we kind of were laughing like, oh, who's gonna take it? But no, man, that's one of those things like, hey, you know, week 18 to have a chance, we got to win this game, and you know, whatever it takes.
You have any notes for him on it, or do you feel like
Notes? No. He's been actually begging for a rushing touchdown this year, so we were trying to get him in.
What was the conversation about getting Jamal that touchdown at the end with the players?
You know, I kind of was back behind everything, so I really can tell you.
E.T. Berry came up with a couple of big catches in this game.
Yeah.
Can you just talk about the growth that you've seen from the game season?
Yeah. Well, first, I'm so pumped for him, you know, and he made some great plays today. I would say I'm not surprised. Like, this is what we've kind of seen from him through camp, and big body, man, that just goes up and makes plays. So that's when you're as big as him and you play the ball as well as he does. Like, we always kind of talk about in the QB room, there's no defense for a perfect pass, and when you got a receiver like that, that's a tough deal for the defense.
when the crowd was really into it for this game? You led the chant before the game. Could you kind of feel it from that point?
Yeah, you know, look, our crowd is always, you know, into the game, and that's something that I've appreciated a lot from this fan base and this city. And there is one thing about this city that you'll always get, and they love the Saints, and it's been really fun to be part of the last 7 years.
Jason, you know, the time of year where there's speculation all the time in this business. Dennis Allen, one of the coaches, a lot of people speculating on. How do you feel he's handled this season? And,
DA?
Yeah, in finishing this year.
Yeah, I think he's handled it really well. You know, we've had some tough situations, and you know, we lost some tough games. But as I look back at it, to be able to play our best football right now, given the circumstances and everything that's happened, and you know, there was no quit in this team, and that starts with the head guy, you know, and that trickles down through our staff and our leadership and players. And so I think the biggest thing that as you go and, you know, evaluate a staff or head coach, you know, go watch the film, and guys were playing hard, and he led that. Thanks, guys.
What happened right there at the end?
What happened? Man, I don't know. I think I got caught in the Matrix. You know, man, to be honest, I wasn't expecting anybody to be running after me. And then when I peeked back, it seemed like all of them was chasing me. And very, very unfortunate. But like DA would say, we were in Miller time anyway. So game was over. So, and then I wanted to get Jamal a touchdown too. So. Yeah.
I was gonna say 63 came out of nowhere. Like when he would I didn't know if you peeked back and you were kind of.
He plays hard.
Yeah.
I should have expected him to be chasing me, right? So, nevertheless, though, I'm glad I got 4 picks. I was able to tie Debo. So, that's a good feeling.
You being from here, like being from New Orleans, and obviously you know how big this rivalry is with the Falcons, like to have a moment like that, like how special is that for you?
Man, to be honest, man, I don't really look at it like that. Man, I'm just happy we won. Whether I made that interception or not, I think the way, the stadium felt today, and the way our offense played, and the way we kind of rallied on defense, right, after spotting those guys 14 points, I was good with that, you know what I mean? But, obviously, interception is like the icing on the cake, and obviously, y'all are going to talk about me, and now I got to go home. My son's going to be talking about me, so I got to deal with that,
Is this like a sign of, looking in the mirror, man, I've been in the league 11 years now. It's just,
Yeah, man, I got a lot of miles on my legs, no doubt about it. But I still love it, man. It's still fun, especially making plays like that.
what kind of consensus y'all wanted to get Jamal Williams a touchdown?
Yeah. We're going to roll with that one. Yeah.
What kind of changed in the second half for you guys as a defense?
I mean, we didn't change anything. I think, early on we dropped the coverage, for 50, 60 yards. And, I think the next series, Lante's right there. He could bat the ball down, pick it off. He missed him. And then I missed the tackle, right? So you take those 2 plays away. I think for the most part we were making those guys, at least try to earn it. We learn from that. We grow from it. But, I'm proud of the way we kind of responded and bounced back. Definitely proud of the way the D-line played today and the linebackers. I thought they played really well today.
How do you feel about the way the team closed out the season playing for the last 5?
I mean, that's cool, man. Obviously, you would want to have done that, much earlier and not really be in a situation. But I think given the circumstances and, just all the adversity that we kind of had to push through, we never gave up. We never wavered. Guys stepped up, made plays, and I think that's really all you can ask for.
Were you curious about the Tampa result as the game was going on?
Not really. The way we started the day, I was just trying to beat the Falcons. Wasn't necessarily worrying about, what Tampa Bay was doing. Obviously, they won, and so it's unfortunate. We kind of have to wait and see, what other teams do, and hopefully we can learn from this, right? It feels like 2 years in a row, kind of, playing that wait and see game. So hopefully, we can use that as motivation, going forward and, really not put ourselves in this type of situation.
What's the plan for the next couple of hours as far as watching the game?
You send up a few prayers. Everybody cross their fingers. You hope for the best. But nevertheless, even if we don't get in, obviously it'll be very, very disappointing. But to have that showing that we had today, in the last game, in front of our fans, hoping that leaves a good taste in their mouth and they can be, motivated and encouraged, going into next season. But like I said, man, fingers crossed, hoping that, we still playing.
Sorry, I know that most of the veterans are good about, trying to block out the noise and all that, but obviously it's hard not to hear all the, speculation around VA, possibly, Josh and all that. How do you feel like he responded at the end of the season with you guys and just how you guys were able to kind of, like, in a sense, maybe probably rally around and finish the way you guys did?
Yeah, man. Man, he stepped up big time for us. I think as the season went on, we wanted to play much, much harder for him, and so and he's a good dude, man. Like, he's a great coach, and I think he's one of those guys that you really want to see him do well, and you want to see him have success, because for him, man, I think he wants to see us do well and succeed, and take care of our family. So I don't really worry about that. I think in my mind, he's a coach, for the New Orleans Saints, and I don't think we really kind of, worry about, what people are saying. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you.
AP Perry, bro.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
So
was today light work or special for you today?
I had to get my get back, honestly. Just when we played them the first time, I had a fade ball, and it was a false start. So when I lined up, I had a feeling DC was going to throw it. So I was like, yeah, I gotta make this one, make this opportunity count. So just went up, made a play. So it was fun today.
Were you thinking about that as like pre-snap?
Yes, actually. Yeah, when I seen man across the board, it was they kind of showed us cover two, but they man across the board. I just knew it was one-on-one opportunity. This ball going somewhere. You know, we just gonna go up and make a play.
So you wanted to make sure that you were the bounce back. You were thinking about that play in Atlanta and effectively looking at this as an opportunity to say.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And then you follow that up with another big catch down the left sideline and then another touchdown. I mean, how would you assess your game?
Honestly, I just stay focused throughout the whole week. You know, I'm just saying, just going into this game. You know, DA really talked to us this week, and this is a playoff game. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got to dial in, do their job, and we'll just come out victorious. So that's what we did. You know, just me coming out, you know, just stay focused, make sure that I'm doing my assignment. And when the ball comes, just make the most of the opportunity. So.
And how would you say that the connection between you and Derek has kind of grown here over there?
Oh, yeah, it's grown over the weeks, you know what I'm saying? Him trusting me, him throwing in the ball, and then I'm catching it, you know, just over time throughout each week, design up plays, and we talk about it. And just go out there on the game, just make plays. So.
If there guys this season ends today, how pleased are you at least that you're able to kind of close on this one?
Oh, it feels great. You know, just with the, you know, up and downs throughout the season. I still believe in these guys. You know, just still believe that there's opportunity out there, and we're going to get a chance, and we get that chance, and we make the most of it. So, you know, just coming out in today's game is just sole purpose, is everybody do your job.
What do you do for the next couple hours and you kind of wait to see how everything shakes out?
You said what I do in a couple hours?
Yeah, like for the next couple hours, like wait to see kind of who wins and if you guys make the playoffs.
Really just watching those games, just honestly just we get in, you know, just making the most of that, just go all the way to the Super Bowl. You know, that's all we thinking about right now, is just, you know, just these two games, and whoever wins, just we in. So
how would you describe your confidence level right now, especially with the season is finished?
My confidence has always been here. You know, I feel like everything for me coming to the NFL was just starting all over. So, you know, just I really thinking about it as college. You know, you just start, the clock starts over. You know what I'm saying? You got to work hard. You know, just got to go out there and make plays, so you get the opportunities on the field during the game. So my confidence has been here. You know, it's never been high, never been low. I just make the most of my opportunities. You know, so.
How do you feel like you, Chris, and Rasheed complement one another?
Oh, you seen the touchdown dances? Oh yeah, like we active. You know, we always talking, always chopping it up. You know, just in the game, we always make sure we communicate with each other, make sure everybody on the same page, and we just go out there and make plays. You know, keep each other high. You know, wherever the game is, we're losing, winning, like we're still with each other. So I feel like our bond is unbreakable. So.
And how do you feel? We can oftentimes diminish how specific roles are amongst receivers, the roles, the skill sets, everything that you all have. How do you feel those mesh?
Oh. I believe we're unstoppable. You know, I feel like we're the best receiver core in this division and in the league. Honestly, you know, just putting the pieces together, we just go out and ball. Everybody doing their job, catching the football, be good.
Why do you feel like you're the best core?
Come on, man. We honestly, like, just from, you know, coming in, just watching them too, I was like, man, they're fast. You know, they're quick too. So it's like I can do those things too. And just being a part of that group is something special. So that's why I feel like we're the best.
How tough is it? I mean, you know, you get labeled as sort of this like contested catch, you know, big body guy and everything, which of course you do well. But when you see like Rasheed Shaheed and Chris Olave, who are kind of smaller guys, do that, like how tough is it for anybody to be able to?
Yeah, just judging the ball in the air and then you having that defender on you, like it's tough. But as a receiver, you know, you just gotta focus on the ball. You know, not worry about the hit or, you know, hitting the ground and stuff like that. You know, just all about judging the ball, and that's what we do in practice. You know what I'm saying? Like whether it's a certain route that we got to get down, just a missed throw, or, you know what I'm saying, timing. We make sure we do it again until it's perfect. So I feel like just in the game, just judging the ball well.
You had talked about before, you and some of the other receivers and Jameis putting in extra time and stuff. Now that you're kind of stepped into working a lot more with the starting group and everything like that. Has that diminished, or is that?
Oh, no. Nah. Me and Jameis, like, we started, we on scout team and stuff like that. They throw me passes, I'm still going to be there on Tuesdays. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure we, God forbid, he's in the game. Like, that connection is still there. We're not second guessing, so.
And then have you found extra time with Derek as well?
Oh, of course, yeah. We talk throughout the week. I always have questions based on certain plays and stuff like that because I want the rock, obviously. But, just making sure that we're always on the same page, so.
Anything else? Thank you, AT.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Have Derek in just a second.
All right.
Derek, how good does it feel just to finish like this with that kind of, I mean, not just this week, but the last couple of weeks, but especially this week?
Yeah, I'd say, again, I say this every week, I can't remember how many weeks, but like the last half of the year for us, I thought we were doing some really good things and improving. A lot of yards, getting better in the red zone, situationally third downs. And I felt like this was just like the icing on the top, of all the hard work. It came together all at one time for us, and really proud of that. We were, as a team, really focused on, yes, there was a chance we could have another home game after this, but if we didn't, we wanted to give our fans something to let them know, that we didn't put all that hard work in for nothing. We didn't get it done early on like we wanted to. It wasn't clicking early on, but we wanted to give them, something to be proud of, going in. Hopefully to the playoffs, but if not, into the offseason.
Dennis said multiple times that the difference, he thought that one of the big differences in the offense was your health. How much better do you feel now? And I know you didn't want to talk about it a lot during the year, but how bad was it in the middle part of the year?
I think the only person that really knows how bad it was my wife, and you guys won't get to talk to her, so no one will ever know, But for me, it was the hardest year physically for me. That I've ever experienced, and so you can't say that while you're going through it because then it looks terrible and all those kind of things. But now that it's at the end, I do feel better. The last few weeks I haven't gotten hit, so I didn't re-injure anything, and the swelling isn't getting worse instead of better. I got better, and so you hope to have earned another chance to play and keep going because I feel good right now. But if not, this is the time to heal it.
You guys added that extra red zone work, and that obviously made a big difference. Was there anything else within the second half of the season that you guys changed up or did differently that kind of helped bring everything together and click and get you where you wanted to be?
Well, guys started. We started learning each other's schedules. During practice and during the week and extra time of work together. We wanted to give it to everybody right away, but this did take us time. To get clicking this last half of the year and. There was things where, okay, he's not on that special team. Hey, let's work now. This is a great time for us to get extra work. Or, you're not on that. Well, come get this throw with me. That kind of stuff. And I added, I can't even lie, man. Like the last 6 or 7 weeks, I started doing with DJ, one of our quarterback coaches, a drill that my dad did with me since I was a little kid. It's an accuracy drill that I've done with him since I was little. Every time we would throw. And before every Wednesday and Thursday practice, DJ would be running across the field like crazy, like a madman, and me doing this accuracy drill that my dad taught me, And I think that's a really cool thing, I was really proud of that because I was like, that's really cool for my dad. He doesn't even know that yet. I haven't even told him, so he'll find out soon. But he just jogging across, hitting certain areas, jogging across deeper, hitting certain areas. So DJ was tired, but I really think that. I literally tried to maximize just every window I could to say, okay, if there's a window of time where I'm not doing anything, can I work? Can he work? Can we work? And it paid off for us, And that took time, us learning each other's schedules and all that. But thankfully we started figuring it out.
I'm assuming you guys are probably frustrated it took so long time, but how good does it feel to have the optimism here at the end that you did kind of probably get to where you wanted to be?
Yeah, it feels great because, I think we proved over the last 2 months like it's not just fluke. We showed spurts early on, but I'm not even counting that. I'm talking about consistently, moving the ball and consistently in situational football, consistently doing things the right way. We've proven that it can be consistent. We've proven that we can get better. That when you work at something with a bunch of dudes that want to work at something, it will get better in time. We all wanted it sooner. We all wanted it to look like that all the time sooner. But hopefully that this last half of the year has shown that this is what we can be, going forward.
Are the ref patches ever challenging, like trying to get them?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we're human. We're human. But my foundation will always be who I am, who Christ says that I am. And, I never get too high, even though my flesh wants to. In a moment like that, you want to get excited about yourself, but it's like, just stay right here and just keep doing the process, keep loving my teammates, keep loving y'all, keep loving my coaches, keep loving everybody in the building, and just enjoy, this last half of the year, just going out to dinner throughout the city and getting to know people, seeing fans and seeing kids wearing my jersey and all that kind of stuff. That was cool to see, because now it's starting to feel like home, and, that's the feeling I wanted to get to right away, but we had to earn that right.
Derek, you said you don't want to get too high or too low, but you seemed pretty high after that last touchdown at 18th period. What was going through your head, and what were you saying to the fans?
Oh, man. It wasn't even to the fans. It was to my dad because I like that movie Gladiator. He's like, are you not entertained, And so that was just a joke because my dad was sitting right up there. And so, that was just a fun time between me and my dad. But, who knows what I was saying? I know I wasn't cussing, but, man, I was probably saying something crazy.
How long is it to cap off the season? If this is your last game, of course, there are other factors, but if this is to cap off the season and have the kind of performance in front of the fans, what does that mean to you?
It meant everything. It meant everything to our team. We said that we wanted to get the dome rocking and put together another great performance. And as Double D said, we wanted to put together a dominant performance. And that's hard. That is hard to do in this league. And so the fact that we could come out here the last game of the year at home, for our city, in front of our city, and do that, it has been unbelievable. And another thing I would say in the last half of the year is my relationship with Double D has just grown so much. We have breakfast every, Tuesday or Wednesday together, right there at the facility, and just growing that unity. And just so I just started seeing that kind of stuff happening with everybody too. Our team was growing tighter, everything was getting better. You grab a whole bunch of new parts, it takes a minute to get to know one another, and hopefully we won enough to get another opportunity, but if we didn't, I'm really proud of where things are and where things could possibly head. I was just laughing. I couldn't believe it. He was one-on-one, and it's a perfect example. I tell these guys all the time, it's, as you guys know, it's been hard to get some of these shot plays up. Teams play our speed. They just play on top of it, and and so he got one-on-one. I was like, I'm gonna give you a chance. And I don't even know how many times he did all that, but I do know he put those 2 feet down and had that ball. And he just like, man, he always tells me after I hit him, I'm like, good route or whatever. He's like, no, keep slinging it. He just keeps saying that to me all the time. Keep slinging it. So that was one of those Brett Favre's just, all right, you go do it. That had nothing to do with ball placement.
How much growth have you seen in A.T. Perry, specifically from the first Atlanta game? He was telling us that he thought kind of about that false start that he had right before you targeted him on the fade. Just what have you seen from him in terms of growth, and how much growth has he shown since that game?
He's shown a lot of growth, and I think that that there's still more growth that he can have, and I say that in an exciting way. He's someone we really liked. His release game is unique for how big he is. How tall he is, how long he is, and the fact that he can move and he's strong. You saw on that the second touchdown, just throwing guys. That again, that's not easy to do at that size. Sometimes those guys get caught up and it's hard for them to get off the release. But as a young player, he's shown to be able to get off those releases, and I'm trusting him against some really good players. The first touchdown, and he continues to go up and make plays for me and for us, and once you build that trust, from the quarterback, that's a good place to be as a receiver, because now you know that any opportunity one-on-one could be your opportunity. And he's made the most of them. I think of the Rams game, throwing him the go ball. He goes up, makes a play. The one he dove and caught. I can't remember what week that was, but those time on task. That trust that we've built. And the first thing I said to him in there, I was like, if we don't get any more games to play, we got a lot more work to do. And in his mind, let's go.
As the season is over, how much do you take from the first half of the season? I know you tried to correct throughout the year, but I don't know, when you examine, looking back, and I know you don't focus necessarily on the negative, but how much do you try and learn from that?
Hopefully there's a lot of things that we've learned from, this last half of the year. Personally, team-wise, unit-wise, unity-wise, togetherness, all those things. And hopefully there's a lot of things that we've learned from that you can build on. But, you got to make sure that at the end of the year, once everything calms down, okay, let's go back through this. You watch all of it again, and you go through it, replay it in your mind, you look at your notes, you look at this, and you try and just make it better. And so, the one thing that is nice now is it's not my first time coming to the stadium. It's not my first time going to the facility. It's not my first time throwing him an out route or this and that. We hopefully can just continue to build and hopefully get another chance to keep it going this year.
Derek, given how it ended, or given how you guys played at the end, if this is the last one, would you expect there to be offensive continuity? I'm talking about players and coaches. Would you want that? How if this is the end, how do you look at what happens with this offense in the offseason?
Well, I 100% just continue to grow. Someone's excited. Just continue to grow. We really feel like we've gotten on the same page. We really feel like we're doing some really good things and communication, all that. And I know that contracts and this and that, and who knows, right? It's the NFL. It's never the exact same, and that's the hard part about our league too, is you build all this up, and thankfully we got some young guys where it will mostly be the same. Coaches, I don't know contracts, I don't know that stuff, but for me, you just hope that you can keep as many together as you can and just keep building, because no one wants to no new guy, get a new guy, he's got to learn everything again, or new system or new coach, that kind of stuff. You don't want to do that. It's got to be something you're familiar with, and you can keep building and growing. That's as a quarterback, for young guys, that's what you always hope for. But in this league, you never know what people are thinking, or is that guy going to retire, or is he going to keep playing? Is that coach done, or is he not? It's I've seen coaches retire a week before training camp. You're like, we needed you, So all that is out there, but my hope is that we can just keep growing and building on what we've tried to sustain this last couple months.
Derek, we asked DA about his personal emotion about how the team finished winning 4 or 5 games, and he doesn't really reveal a whole lot to us. What have you seen from him and how the team's responded to him challenging you all down the stretch?
Well, I will say that he challenged us. He challenged guys individually. He challenged guys, in a team setting. He challenged us, personally, individually. And I'm really proud of the way that guys responded. Whenever a coach demands something or challenges something, and guys respond, that's a really good sign for your team and your organization. And so, any challenge that he would ever give me, or even if it wasn't for me, I'd take everything personal. I just do that, just to keep that edge and that chip. Man, he's talking to me, I got to do that, And, for guys to feel the same way and respond the way that we have, I think that's nothing but positive, And to finish 4 out of the last 5, you wish it was 5 out of the last 5. That was the goal he set out before us. So we got 5 left, and I expect to win them all. We weren't able to do that. We got 4 of them. That's good, but it's not great, and hopefully we can get better.
As you await the results of the next few hours, how do you go with the next few hours? What's the plan, I guess?
Well, I'll go home and figure out all those scenarios. I don't even know them. I didn't want to know them this week. The only one I knew is the division one, just because we're in it, But I don't even know who needs to lose, if I'm honest. And so I didn't want to know. I just wanted to focus on taking care of my business, because if I didn't do that, none of this would matter. And so I'll go home, try and figure that out, and watch those games. Like I always sit down and watch, NFL Red Zone with my kids, because my boys love every single player, and they pretend to be everybody but their dad as they run down the hallway. And so we'll do that, and hopefully know what's going to happen. But I have no idea at this moment.
When you're looking at some of the offensive numbers and the improvement over the back half, how much did using a little bit more play action help with that? And just kind of help you in the offense?
I think it helps everybody, and I think that was a big, major part. And I'm glad you caught that. That's awesome, because that was an emphasis for us. We got to be able to. I have to be able to turn around, hand the ball off, and it has to be good. I also got to be able to put that ball out there, pull it back, and throw it, and that has to be good. And when those two things are going, then your drop back gets better because they don't know. Now you're in the gun. Are you running it? You're passing it. You're under. You're running it. You're passing it. And whenever you have all that going together, that's a recipe for success. But that was a huge part for sure.
As a part of that, what did you see from Kendra Miller today?
Kendra, love Kendra. He was sick. I don't know if they do that. Sorry, but he was sick. This week, man, battled. He's had the injury. And when he gets in the game, and every time I've ever played with a rookie running back, I double check after I call the play, you're good, right? It's 36. And with him, when I say it, he's like, I'm good, dude. He's like, I'm good. And so he's probably sick of me for checking every time, but. Just really proud of his work ethic, and he went through a lot this year, But for him to be able to get out there and be in front of our fans, making people miss in the hole, lowering his shoulder, making those, what should have been 5 turn into 7, turn into 8, that doesn't go on the stat sheet as oh, what a huge play, but that matters, and for a play caller, all that kind of stuff. So to see him get that opportunity was really cool.
You said you weren't on the field for it, but that final touchdown, the kind of big kneel down.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even know. I know that they called victory, take a knee, and then from whatever happened after that, I have no idea, to be completely honest. And so I can understand someone's frustration, but I also understand that that's not what the Pete called or DA wanted, and so I'm sure they'll hash that out or whatever. Someone gets to the bottom of it. You guys probably know more about it than I do, but. At the same time, I'm happy for Jamal, getting his touchdown. That's my teammate. I'm always going to be happy for him. But I didn't know that was going to happen.
How much did you want your touchdown though on the QB draw?
Oh, you saw that? Hey, so when we put that in this week, the little personnel thing it was a Taysom play, and I give those guys a hard time every Taysom play. I'm like, I can do that. Even though I'm not trying to bust my head up in there 30 times. I was like, I can do it. So finally, Pete was like, all right. We're going to give you this one. I was like, all right, perfect. So the fact that it was an efficient play made me happy. And then Jesse Bates looked at me. He's like, you did not just run a draw. You did not just run a draw. We've had a lot of fun over the years getting to know each other and play against each other. I love Jesse. But that was a cool moment, for me. Because he's like, you did not. I was like, I should have scored too. I got tripped. But no, it was good.
We're going 2 more.
Sorry.
I was saying, you're throwing a little juke. That's not a little.
Well, yeah, I can hoop. I'm probably, I don't get enough credit for my athleticism, man. I am first and foremost a hooper, and so, these guys will find out soon enough in the off season, that I can actually hoop. But yeah, man, I got something to me, maybe not as much as I once did, but I still got something.
Going back to the Jamal touchdown, is it concerning that if that's what Pete called to take a knee, that it was kind of overruled, or what do you kind of make of this?
No, I think in that moment. It was a big emphasis, just as players talk, Jamal led the league in touchdowns last year, and I don't think he had one. The way you guys were talking, he didn't have one this year. And, just as players, you just love your buddy so much that ain't nothing sometimes in this league, ain't nothing a coach can do, no matter who it is. Players sometimes want to take care of their guys, and coaches end up having to deal with that wrath sometimes. And so that happens. Like I said, I'm happy for Jamal, but I understand the whole situation and all that. But I know that's not what Pete called.
You talked about coming together unity-wise. What do you mean by that? I mean, how you all came together down the stretch?
Yeah.
In the locker room or in the team?
Yeah, I'm just saying, as you get, more time we all spend around each other, I know I can, tell what makes you tick, and we sit at the table together, spend that extra time, me going to the O-line dinners. They have O-line dinners every Thursday, and trying to be at every single one of those, and you get to know about so much about, you're sitting by someone new every time, and I just felt that unity and that growth of the care for one another because you know about each other now, and I just felt that grow, and so it wasn't like we need to get closer, it's one of those things that relationships take time, and all of those things just in that moment just started growing and getting better, getting closer, and that's kind of, I hope I answered that right, but that's kind of what I felt. Good, thank you, appreciate it.
For you guys, schedule-wise, tomorrow we have an 11 o'clock team meeting. Short.
That was quarterback Derek Carr wrapping things up, talking about the chemistry and how it's developed over the season. It was fun to watch today. We were talking about some of the plays that happened in this game, and Tyrann Mathieu's interception, he nearly returned it for a touchdown, falls down at the 1 yard line. We heard him just now say that he thought he got caught in the Matrix or something because he just couldn't quite get over the line and into the end zone for a pick six. But he did set up the last touchdown of the game on the 1 yard line. Jameis Winston hands it off to Jamal Williams. Williams able to get his first touchdown of the year. And a minute 10 left to go in the game. Obviously the game out of hand. Head coach Dennis Allen addressed it, said not his intention to run up the score there. Players wanted to get Williams in the end zone.
I know there's a coach's code of conduct, and I think that's why Arthur was so mad about it, and I know that's why Coach Dennis Allen was defending. That wasn't the right thing he said, but as fans, we loved it. I know the fans, it came out and they thought that was intentional, and because it's Atlanta, and when you can do that in a rivalry game, I thought it was, if you don't like it, stop it. But I think when coaches are all trying to keep jobs, and it's a fraternity, it really is, just like players are a fraternity with each other and aren't trying to injure each other and do those things. I understand it from his perspective, but in a rivalry game, I think he threw those things out.
I think the fans loved it. They were all excited. It's the Falcons, and kind of keep running up the score. They're all for it. We're going to give you a couple updates here on some of the games we're watching, as there is still the wild card at play for the Saints, with the Bucs beating the Panthers. Obviously, the NFC South goes to Tampa Bay. Cardinals are actually in the red zone right now. They are down in this ball game 3-0 to Seattle. The Packers just scored a touchdown to go up 7-3 over the Bears. So right now, the teams that we want to lose are actually winning, with Green Bay ahead and Seattle ahead. So we'll keep watching that game, both of those in the second quarter of action. So I mean, it's tough. It's tough to get two teams to lose for you to get in, but I think everybody can be happy with the way that things ended here today.
I think so. Yeah, those two games, hopefully they turn out the way you need them to turn out. It's a long shot. It really is, to have both those teams win, maybe one or the other. Still, that does you no good. It's frustrating because, to me, and I'm sure in a lot of Saints fans' eyes, this is the best we've seen this team play the last 2 weeks. Honest opinion, not being a homer, this is the best team in the NFC South. I think you saw that last week with them going on the road to Tampa Bay and just absolutely pounding them. And then the way they played today against Atlanta, who they had a chance to win the division too as well. So Saints played their best football at the right time. Whatever happens, if you don't make the playoffs, I think every organization wants hope. And the Saints fans brought it today. I know it was Atlanta, they brought it. There was a lot on the line. Seeing all the players out here, all the fans, the fans make this organization. And I think that's what the players really appreciate. Is New Orleans isn't like a whole lot of other professional sports teams. The fans appreciate it when you win, and they appreciate your efforts. And I hope there's one more week at least to see that.
Yeah, we all do. I know you understand this fan base probably better than most people do, being a player here, winning that Super Bowl with them as well. There are a couple defensive players that stepped up. We've talked offense, but defense, seeing defensive end Peyton Turner get back on the field for the first time since he was injured against the Titans in week 1. He has that big fumble recovery that sets up another touchdown. So it was just good to see him get back out there.
Absolutely. It's always good to see those, especially Peyton, who's a first-round pick. And anytime you invest capital into especially defensive linemen, guys who can beat guys one-on-one, get after the passer, now you can keep guys in coverage. Everybody tries to build their organizations. Championship organizations are built kind of the boring way, in the trenches, O-linemen and D-linemen. So Peyton was here the first week of the season, had some injuries throughout the year, but for him to come back and to flash in the game and show up in the box score and make some plays, just like everybody else who's been playing well, that can only catapult you into the offseason for confidence and for your work ethic, and try to become the best player you can become.
All right, well, the Cardinals just kicked a field goal, so it is now 3-3 in that game with 11 minutes to go in the first half of action. Peyton Turner said that going into this game, he really wanted to just get his first hit. That was going to be the first thing that he needed. He did get a quarterback hit today, so I'm sure that one felt good. It was Demario Davis once again leading the way with 9 tackles. Jonathan Abram had 9 as well. He's really stepped up over the last couple games. As people have been hurt, he's had to slide in and done a very good job.
Jonathan, I think if anybody saw after last week's game against Tampa Bay, the locker room, when the guys came around and presented him with the game ball, I thought that it's such a cool moment that if nobody saw it, I recommend you go watch it, because there's a lot of love on this team. There's a lot of love between these guys, and you don't get that in a whole lot of professional teams. And to talk about the amount of time and the effort and the work that he's put in just to get out here as a veteran player, it's not easy being a veteran player being on practice squad. You feel like that's a little bit of a demotion, but he's putting the time and effort in, and he said, when I get my opportunity, I'm going to make a difference. And Jonathan has definitely made a difference the last 2 weeks. Out here, made some great tackles on a really good running back in Bijan Robinson. So he's been his energy and enthusiasm and the way the guys love him, I think he's a great addition to the defense. Definitely.
He was a former first-round pick, and for him to kind of jump around the past couple of years on different teams, it's been good to see him get back on the field and do well here. Let's see, Alontae Taylor was the other player who had an interception in this one. We mentioned Tyrann Mathieu having one earlier. Alontae Taylor, man, he just keeps working because he's had it tough this season, having to change positions. He was the outside corner, moved inside to the slot. They were riding with him for a long time, and then towards the end of the season here, even in this game, he gets benched early in the game and then gets back in because of an injury. I know it's difficult for him playing a position he's not used to playing, but he keeps getting back out there and keeps fighting.
If there's anybody on this team that Alontae is definitely in that conversation. When I talk about the future players, the young guns, the future stars of this team playing their best football, he has been doing that. Now, people say, well, he got benched against the Rams, and then he got benched again today early on. But my thing with Alontae Taylor is, after the bench against the Rams, he came back and he got an interception. Played some of his best football. Today, it was just bad eyes. It was an explosive play that he didn't cover the flat and get deep enough with the guy. They benched him. He comes back, and what's he do? Gets another interception. So anytime there's adversity with Alontae, he plays his best football. He can be an outstanding player. And the last thing to your point is, it's not easy as a player to jump around and play all these different positions. It's hard enough to learn one position, but his versatility is absolutely paramount and key to this defense. When you can play inside, you can play outside. Not many guys can do that at this level.
Over the last month of the season, the Saints definitely trending upwards. I think a lot of good things ahead for next season, regardless of what happens in this final hour or two with the wild card position getting determined. What are you looking forward to if the season is, in fact, over today?
Yeah, I think as soon as the season ends, your views go to salary cap. Where do you sit in the salary cap? Veteran players, how many years do they have left on their deal? Guys who are no longer starters, how do you move on from them through release, or do you try to trade guys? And I think this team is in a really good spot for a number of reasons. Number one, Derek has played his best football of the last month of the season. That gives you a lot of optimism and hope with that type of investment. And like I already talked about, you have a lot of key players at a lot of key positions ready. You're going to always try to add depth. You're probably going to go out and try to add some depth to the O-line, get a pass rusher who can win one-on-one. You can never have enough cover guys. So there are still just pieces you will try to add depth to and some playmakers. Sure. But this team is in a good spot compared to a lot of other teams in this division.
Yeah, I agree. They looked good over the last couple weeks. Derek Carr and his family are just blending into our shot right now, having a lot of fun out here, and rightfully so. I love that the fans are able to come out here, the families, and be here to celebrate this win. It's been a fun season. Hopefully the Saints can extend it a little bit longer, and we'll see here in a couple hours what happens we need the Green Bay Packers to lose, and we need the Seattle Seahawks to lose, and hopefully that is in fact what happens. But thank you so much for joining us. For John DeShazier, who I'm sure is writing a story right now, you can read on NewOrleansSaints.com. Former linebacker, Super Bowl champ Scott Shanle. I'm Erin Summers. It was a great 48-17 win over the Atlanta Falcons in Week 18.